Hey man, good to see you. Just finished my monk mode. I'm on day 39 here in Lisbon, Portugal. Monk mode, which is a certain extension of semen retention, which is the thing you're practicing most likely as well, has brought me so much more than I expected, and particularly this one. What it is that allowed that is what I want to share with you, and I will add a few things that might help you set up your own monk mode or to understand whether monk mode is something that can bring you a similar result at this point in your life. So I'll just share my experience a little bit. I came here as a person who's mostly surrounded by people. I live with two good friends in the Netherlands. Always have enough to do and to distract me from silence, basically. And for a long time I felt my intuition was pushing me towards that silence. And what I've come to realize in these 39 days is that silence is probably, in this modern time that we live and function in, one of the most overlooked gifts that we can take. And we are often looking to what should we consume, what should we listen to, follow, read, do. Silence and not looking at things and not consuming anything allows you to basically to be with what you've grown to, with your absolute integrity, values, beliefs, things you stand for. And it almost forces you to look at that, to be with that, challenge it for a while. And knowing yourself to that extent as a man influences everything. That creates a certain clarity and direction in your life that allows you to move forward in ways that you didn't know were possible. So in a time where we are so distracted and that our phone addictions have been normalized, where nobody has a screen time under 4 or 5 hours, where we see the silence as a cue to being ineffective or bored or not useful, to then choose that silence. And the truth that will show you is beyond describable, I think. And besides that, if you are in a point of your life like me where you know what your direction is and what you want to do, then being with your work and your purpose for a month without all those distractions, away from the noise, if you will, allows you to be productive and achieve things into that direction in a speed that is also incomparable with the environment you are in right now. So what could be some reasons to get into monk mode? Because I don't want to create an illusion that it's for everyone. I think that going into a monk mode without a clear northern star, if you will, might be even a dangerous idea. If you're choosing the monk mode by yourself in solitude, right? I think if you are sitting in your room right now and it's an absolute mess, and that's a representation of what your life is right now, a notebook and a pen, and 2, 3, 4 weeks, as long as you want, creating an environment where you can receive answers, I think that is the absolute best thing to do for you. But that's of course given that you are emotionally stable enough to handle the emotions that might come up. And I want to be very clear in that, because I think people are throwing around monk mode in a very casual way. The solitude and the silence might not be healthy for everyone. If that's something that interests you and you're curious about and think you can look to your emotions in a curious way rather than a judging way, then I think this is a beautiful way for you to get the answers that you desire, like nothing else can, like no Instagram reel, YouTube video, even like this, can give you. That the umbrella of consuming simply doesn't have the capability to give you that. That it's only you and yourself and exploring yourself that can give you those answers. Another reason would be if you are very clear on what you're doing, right? You're a high performer, or you simply have a direction, you know the steps, you have a plan, a direction, a purpose. Then to be with that and your work in a monk mode, designed like you want to design it. It will align you to that direction, again, in a way that nothing else can, because you've removed yourself from the noise and distraction. That also takes away your focus, right? Because it is you having a clear idea and image of what you want to create, build, attract. Removing everything that comes in between that makes you able to manifest that in a speed that is incomparable. So if any of those motivations align with you, then here's how I designed my monk mode, and maybe you can draw some inspiration from that as you plan your own monk mode. Semen retention is, of course, a part of it. That's a non-negotiable. For me, that's also just normal. Semen retention is a part of that. It should be for you as well. This is something that I would 100% write down on your requirement list if I had the ability to remove the fixation and distraction noise around your sexual nature, and to not masturbate, to retain during that period, makes all the difference. That is almost synonymous to the experience. And so semen retention will really differentiate your monk mode from any other. Another absolute requirement, I would say, is journaling. So take a big ass notebook and a pen, write every morning, write every evening, because the whole intention is for you to explore your mind, to explore what you actually stand for, what you really want in life, what your beliefs and values are, and to challenge them a little bit, but also to explore them and to really align with yourself. Journaling is the deepest way of thinking, something that coincides with a monk mode. And another absolute requirement to also make sure that it doesn't become a negative experience for you is to set an expectation to your phone use and to the apps that you use, and to really remove the social media scrolling, the short content especially. What happens to me a few days when I didn't manage to do that is that I started to reject myself a little bit, right? I came all this fucking way. I invested financially, I invested my time, everything to set this monk mode up, and then I spent my time some days scrolling on my phone. This creates a tension that is unbearable, because that means you're really fooling yourself, and you cannot escape from that yourself. So I would say that that's also absolutely a requirement, as silence is the thing you're seeking, and that it can really become a negative experience if you still distract yourself, even though you've invested to set this monk mode up. It creates a certain tension that is really, really uncomfortable, which also is a learning process, those days that I experienced that. But I can already tell you that it's something you should avoid if you can. For the rest, man, it's really up to you. If you allow yourself to still meet up with some people, to still have some visitors, some days to call with people, this is really up to you and your desire for silence, and how far you want to push it and can push it, or simply what is comfortable to you. I would say that semen retention, journaling, and your phone usage, especially social media, those are key pillars of what make a healthy and super effective monk mode. And the rest are all buttons that you can tune to the degree that you like and you see fit. Remember, you are unique. You are not like anyone else. You don't have to do anything exactly like I'm doing it or how someone else is doing it. Find your own way. That's also the key point to it all, right? To find your own truth. Let me know how you will set it up, or what your experiences were if you already did a monk mode, what the lessons were that you drawn out of it. I'm endlessly curious about that. But for now, I think that's it, man. See you in the next one.